saying action.
Good job. Okay, so as you know, as we were just talking about, we've been talking about writing an informational text
Looking at us?
about, yeah. So it's looking at your back. It's mostly looking at me. So don't worry about that. Don't let there be a distraction, Jordan. Okay, so we're going to give an example of what it means to write an introductory sentence. But before we start that, who can read the first thing on our crown? Ruby, what's the first thing? But Jada, what's the first thing on our crown? Introduction. So that's the first thing we do. We'll get through it. So we'll work with you, Ruby. So the first thing we do is an intro, an introduction. Who knows what an introduction would be? Ruby?
Introduction is the first thing.
Good, it's the first thing. So this is leading us up to what the whole thing is going to be. So when we're writing an informational text or an essay, the first thing we want is an introduction. And that's going to lead us up to everything else that we're going to write about. So we have an introductory sentence, and that's going to lead us up to, what's the second thing, Crystal? What's the second thing on the crown? An answer. So we're going to answer the question. So what are we writing about? So we're going to answer that. And then what's the third thing? Jordan, what's the third thing on that crown? Right here.
Explain.
Oh, X. You can read that word.
Please.
Examples. Thank you, Crystal. Examples. Good try, Jordan. Examples. It's the next thing we're going to write about. So we got examples. May have a couple sentences with examples. And then what's the fourth part? It's going to be the last thing we're going to write about. Yair, what's the fourth thing on that? Sound it out. Conclusion. Conclusion. I don't know if you said that right or not, but it's conclusion. Who can tell me what conclusion means? The Jada, what is a conclusion?
Conclusion is like when it's like not like the last, but it's a last sentence that makes it interesting and dumb.
Good. It makes it interesting. Crystal, what else can be in a conclusion? It's on a poster right behind you if you want to cheat. But no, it's not cheating. It's there for a reason. What's on the poster behind you? What did you say? Yeah, you said it. Ending. You did that. You did say it without ending. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Ending. So we have our conclusion, the ending. So the first part of our crown is an introduction. The second part is an answer. The third part is an example. The fourth part is a conclusion. And what's the last thing on the crown? Grammar is the very last thing on the crown. Ruby, what's the last thing on the crown?
Grammar.
Grammar. Yair, what's the last thing on the crown? Grammar. Crystal, last thing on the crown?
Grammar.
Jordan, last thing on the crown?
Grammar.
Grammar. What does grammar mean?
Grammar.
Grammar. Grammar.
Grammar means like you have your own grammar.
So, come on, stay focused.
Grammar.
So, grammar. What does grammar mean?
Like when you do exclamation points and correct spelling.
Explanation, spelling. Ruby, did you have your hand up?
Yes, for that, but
Anything else? So what else can you do besides an exclamation point? What else can I do at the end of a sentence?
Period.
Period. Good, that's part of grammar. Crystal, what else can I do part of grammar? Say it again. Question mark. Perfect. And what do we do at the beginning of every sentence? Capitalize. Capitalize is another part of how we use grammar. So when we look at our crown, we're going to write an introduction, which leads into everything we're going to write. We're going to answer that question, why are we writing? What is so big about this thing? In this reference, the good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we're going to say, what's so big about him? Why are we writing about that? So that's the next thing we're going to write about. Then we're going to need examples of why we're writing about him. Why does this make him such a good person? Why does this make him somebody we want to write about? And then a conclusion. What does a conclusion mean? It's an ending, and it leads in, goes back to the introduction. So they're in agreement. Introduction and a conclusion. So, the first thing we're going to write about.
Did you take it? Oh,
when we're writing our informational text is we're going to write about an introduction. So we're going to do an introduction. So,
What?
I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to write about the good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. What can I write about him? So I'm thinking about an introduction. Do you have one, Najeda?
So you're going to have a
What would you write about?
So you need to be on your best behavior, okay? Ready.
Yeah, well, that's the
A
second
as an
thing.
ant.
So number 2 is the answer.
Okay, that was only Jeremiah.
But what's the first thing I want to write?
A as an ant.
I'm thinking about it. So
Capital letter
I'm
A.
going to write, I'll just think of one, and then we can
Small
work
letter
it.
A.
I'm going to write,
A says
Martin
app.
Luther King was
Ant in an ambulance.
a reverend.
A.
a reverend. That's good. I want to write something a little more. Do you guys know MLK?
Yeah.
That's how we abbreviate it. MLK. No, come on. Stay with me. Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King. Okay? So Martin Luther King was a great man. How about that?
Yeah.
Was a great man.
MLK was a great man. MLK was a great
I'll be here.
So he was a great man. That's going to be my introductory sentence. So that's going to lead into
Okay.
my answer. Why do I have an answer? What are we going to do, Yair? Why do we have an answer?
Because we have
There's a question. So if I were to ask a question, if I were to say Martin Luther King was a great man, what would you ask? What kind of question would there be?
why was he a great man?
Why? We'd say why, but what's else? Why is he a great
Okay,
man?
everybody put your finger right here. And let's do
So,
it.
it's right there. So, Jordan,
What starts
stay
with
with
an
us.
A? Mouse or ant?
So why is he a great man?
Okay.
So that's going to introduce our
We have
answer.
Sam.
That's good. Then we're going to give some details why he was a great man, and then we're going to conclude why he was
What
a
kind of
great
words
man.
are we working on?
So,
Do
because I don't want to write it all out, because
Yes,
that'll
cat,
take a lot of
rhyme.
time. And I just want to
Do
think
you
about my
think of anything
introduction.
else that rhymes with cat?
Now I can write another introduction. I can write he was a great man. Is that the best one I can do? Is that the only one I
He
can
was
do?
a
How about a
great man.
He was a great, great, great man.
Rat.
That's good too.
Is rat rhyme
Or
with
I
cat
could
and hat?
say
He's the nicest guy
What
ever.
about
he's the nicest guy ever. Anything else?
He was the
Here we
king
go.
of the stadium.
Repeat after me. Am,
How about
Sam, Ma'am.
MLK, who's the king of
Am,
the stadium.
Sam, Ma'am. Do those rhyme?
No, not
Yes.
really.
E,
MLK.
B, C. Do those rhyme?
Changed
C. Good. Am, me, I'm.
the
What's this
people.
word?
What are you saying about me, Ruby?
Am,
Nothing.
Okay.
Me.
I don't take it. Remember
am.
that. Martin Luther King changed the people. Say it. Don't
Is it
forget
getting
about
colder?
it. So Martin Luther King changed the people. So that's the
I
first
think
thing
it
I'm going to write
sounds
about.
snowy. You can put
So
your
what
hand
would you ask, Ruby? If I were to say he changed the people, what do you think the question would be? Yeah. So how would you frame that as a question? What would you say?
I will say that.
Boys and girls.
Martin Luther King.
How?
What time is it?
Martin Luther King.
Da 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 da.
Okay. Crystal, do you know how I make that a question? What kind, if I were to say this, what would you ask me? How? Yes. How did he change the world? How did he change the people?
Why did he change
How did he do
Okay,
this?
my slinky men.
So how?
Together.
That's going to be the next thing. I'm going to write
Dan.
an introduction that's going to lead me
Dan.
into the other parts of the crown.
How did he
Dan.
How did he do it?
Dan.
He changed the
Next
people,
word
but
is
how did
then.
he do it?
Then.
So that's my answer.
Then.
Yair, what's the
Do it
second
on your own.
thing on the crown?
Then. Next
Answer.
word is meat.
So I just posed the introduction. He changed the world.
Meat.
And then
Do it on your
people are
own.
going to have a question. But how? So you're going to answer it.
Meat.
That's the next thing we're going to write in our family text. God bless you.
Matt.
So that's the next thing we're going to write
Do it on
is
your
the
own.
answer.
Matt.
Okay.
So,
So,
Jeremiah, can you tell me a
Let's
word
move back
you
to where
like
we were
to
yesterday. Friday. Everyone pull out. I need
And
another
Friday
piece of
we
paper.
were right
Excellent.
here.
Yes. Pull this out, please. Yair. Pull that out. Excellent.
Jam? How about jam? Let's do jam. Let's
Everyone
jam.
pull
Ready?
that out.
Together. Jam.
Okay.
Jam. Do it on your own.
We are going to look at this.
Jam.
gave my
Jam. Pavel, do you have a word
So,
you'd like
let's
to
look at
say?
number 1. Jordan, you don't have one. If you can share with her, I ran out.
How about
So,
think word
share
was
with
just
Crystal.
one
Thank you.
syllable.
So,
Like,
Crystal, what is the first question in practice number 1?
How about Jack?
Why is
Jack.
Dr. King
Okay, you know how to
important?
do this because you know how to use them.
And so,
Here we
why
go.
do we
Ready?
think he's important?
Jack.
Is our question.
Jack.
So, what is the introduction?
Jack. Do it on your own.
So, what would be the introduction? Ira, what's the introduction in this very first paragraph?
You would like to sling your out?
Read me the introduction sentence. No. What's the very first sentence? Dr. King.
Okay. Here we go. You guys have some time. Slinky.
Good. So that's the end of the
Ariel,
sentence. Ruby, is that a good introductory sentence? Dr. King was a good man.
That's fine.
No?
I don't care.
Dr. King was a good man.
So good. If there's an exclamation point in bold, you're all over it. It's not though. I should have put it in bold. But so if you were writing it, I bet you would put it in bold with an exclamation
Yeah, you
point.
can do that too.
Capitalize. So I want you all to underline that very first sentence. Do you have a pen, Yair?
Okay, Mr. Schwartz.
So, sorry, Jordan, I don't have one. So, Crystal, underline the introductory sentence.
Call me back.
Everyone, introductory sentence, underline it. Ruby, underline the introductory sentence. Underline the introductory sentence.
Hello.
Dr. King was a good man. Very first sentence. Introduces it. Excellent. Thank you very much. Doing good. So, he was a good man. Okay. So, looking at number 2, the very second practice number. No, number 2, the second question. Read the second question, Jada.
Why did people listen to Dr. King?
Why did people listen to Dr. King? So looking at that, Jordan, what do you think is the introductory sentence for number 2?
Hannah was the one that was supposed to tell her.
Look at it, read it.
No,
Alright, that's the question. So this is the introductory sentence. Where is it?
No. What?
Introductory sentence, the first thing.
When is the...
Who else
well,
knows
I'm
what the
wondering,
introductory
though,
sentence
do we need
is?
that
Only
information
Jada.
for our stuff?
Okay, we've repeated the question 3 times
So
now.
what time
So,
did Mom do, like,
We repeated the question 4 times now. What is the introductory sentence? Crystal,
Did she do?
a reverend, and
2
a good
o'clock,
preacher.
So you wanna just do one?
So everyone underline the introductory sentence in practice number 2.
It's not too tight for me because I'm not involved.
Yeah, here, what's the introductory sentence?
Maybe you should
For
do
number
it.
2.
Yeah, Hannah, call it our
Very good.
because I don't want to make the decision.
Okay,
that she's
so Dr. King was a
But that's
reverend
fine.
and
I
a
can-
good preacher.
That would be
So
great.
that's going to lead us up to the answer.
I would love that.
A preacher is like the guy in church that stands up at the front. That was him, because he knew how to talk, he knew how to captivate people.
No, actually,
You know how to
Mark
make
has my
people
kids on Thursday.
wanna do
Thursday afternoon is fine.
Okay.
Then I can take my kids.
So, what's the introductory sentence?
So if you guys, do you
When is
wanna
it
send
usually
me
in
and
there?
just
Yeah,
tell
when is
her?
it usually
Do
there?
you need the do you have
Where
the-
is it? It's usually, I kind of set you up. It's usually the first
That
thing.
sounds perfect. I can do that.
First
I can do
thing.
that.
Okay.
So what
Dr.
do they
Bentley?
see? I wonder.
Band-Aid. No, I do not. You need to go to the nurse? Okay. So, that's the first thing, is our introductory sentence. Don't worry about that. So look at our crowns again. Look at the crowns again. You got 5 minutes. Think you'll be alright? 5 minutes? Okay. So, look at our crowns again. Look at our crowns again. Everyone pull out your crowns. Hopefully you didn't put them away yet. This is a king's
Well,
crown.
that sounds like right on target then. So we'll probably
This.
OHI then.
Come on, Ruby. Come on. There you go. You got 2 papers. Let's see how this. Okay. So, what is the first thing that's on the crown?
It's
Good.
so sweet. Like,
Crystal,
I
what's the
was
second thing on the crown? Answer. So we're going to answer the
No, just
question,
let
the
me know.
important
Anytime in the
question.
afternoon is fine.
Yair,
We
what's the
already
third
have,
thing on the
weather,
crown?
So another boy is totally fine. Okay, bye.
Example.
Were
Example.
there some people playing around on the phone?
Oh, they call mine. Because I couldn't find mine.
Okay,
So,
I just make sure it hangs up.
it didn't hang up?
No. But
Okay.
that's okay. It's okay. But
Yeah.
kids stay away from this phone. It's not for
So,
adults.
sorry about
It's for
that.
kids.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. They
They
can
were
call,
helping
but
me
I'm
find.
just
Yeah,
don't have
I'm
them touch
actually.
it.
I had to
You
do
lost it?
It was under my book. reminder or
It
something.
wasn't in your pocket?
No. So it was on the desk. I knew it was on the desk, but they had a
This
book.
walk-in.
Okay. So we're almost out of time.
No, they were trying to call for like an hour and so.
Okay. Okay, you guys, can we stay focused, please?
Okay, let me see.
So, we have an introduction. We're going to answer the question,
Okay, give me
give
your
examples. The Jada, what's the fourth thing on that crown? What's the word?
Did you get Brian, Mr. Swartz?
Crystal? Conclusion. So, what is the
Okay.
conclusion? So, that's the thing that's leading into, goes back to the first thing, goes back to the introduction. Conclusion, sums it all up.
We did this.
And we're going to use proper grammar. So that's periods, that's exclamation points, question marks, capitalize at the beginning, indent, use good spelling. It's all part of our grammar.
At the beginning.
So capitalize at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Always capitalize the first word, or if it's a proper noun. I just lost Jordan.
He's going to OT. He
Okay.
has OT on Mondays.
I just watched it.
Okay.
Did we do this?
I'm sorry, he just walked away. There we go. So thank you very much. Okay, so let's look at
Okay, so
these examples.
did we do this?
Crystal, what does it say at the very
Wait,
top?
Okay, so we didn't do this one. Did we do that?
An informative text. Informational.
We did do this
We're writing an informative text.
Okay, so Miss
So what we're going to do now, we're going to look at the question, we're going to look at what's written in there, and we're going to do this as a group. We're
Okay,
going to
here
do
we
it
go.
individually, but I'm going to do it as a group to start off. So we are going to think of an introductory sentence for the very first paragraph, that first question. So Yair, can you read the first question?
No.
It's snowing flooding. Look at.
The first question, I'm sorry. So the one you go with.
All over us.
Okay, here we go.
We did that
We're
one.
going to repeat. We're going to practice. We're going to do a new one.
Good. What
You're
made
okay,
Dr.
Kurt.
King such
You're
a
gonna go
good
back to class,
person?
And I'm going to do more work.
So
Okay,
we
here
need to
go.
have an
Everybody,
introduction to
Put
this.
your fingers on
But
this word.
before we have an introduction, I wrote down the answer,
Right here,
I
sweetie.
wrote down
Okay, here we
examples,
go.
and I wrote
Repeat
down a
after me.
conclusion.
I am
So we have
Sam.
everything but the introduction.
See
So,
me.
why do I have the answer?
I
If you look
see
at our
me.
crown, I have man
Me,
parts
me,
for a second,
me.
since I did mine away. So
Let's read it together.
we don't have an
Go.
introduction, but we have the
I
answer, we have
am
examples,
Sam.
we have a conclusion.
See
So we have all
me.
these because
I
they are supported
see
by, they
me.
support the introduction.
Me,
Very, very good, the Jada.
me.
So, let's think of an introductory sentence. I'm going to read the rest of it just in the
Okay,
interest
turn
of
the
time.
page.
So we're going to say, the rest of the paragraph is, Dr. King helped people learn how to be proud
Okay, we'll
of
just
who
repeat.
they are.
Sound
He
okay?
also helped people like
What
each
kind of
other
words are we working
and gave
on?
people a dream. Please hang in there, please. And gave people a dream for how the world could be. Dr. King won awards for helping others.
Rhyming words. Good.
So he did some really
this
good stuff.
says, Seuss is
So,
on the
he
loose.
helped people,
Dr. Seuss is on the loose with
he helped them
rhymes
be
for us all.
proud,
On
he helped
top,
people like
on
each
top,
other,
and a cup.
he had a dream,
Rhymes
and he
are
won
words that
awards
end the
for it.
same. Now you can rhyme
So
like
how are
Dr.
we going to
Seuss.
sum that up in
Ready?
the intro?
Yes,
How are we
me.
going to lead into that, make people want to read about
E.
that?
Do those rhyme?
Right, so it answers
I see
it.
me.
And I would think, what am I
So,
going to do to make
who's
people
the-
really
who's in the
want
picture?
to read about it?
And who's she seeing
So
in there?
one introduction that I would write
Herself.
is I would write, people
Good.
like MLK. People like Martin.
Words that rhyme here would
Do you
be
think that would work?
and
No.
No? Would not work? Why not?
right? Come over
Yeah,
here.
you're too quick to jump. So
Try
right at
one
this page.
more rhyme.
So Yair, would that
with
work
and
if I just
Sam.
wrote people like
Rhymes are
Martin
words
Luther
that
King?
end the
Do
same.
you think
Now
that would
you
answer
can
the
rhyme like
question?
Dr. Seuss.
Lead people
Ready?
to want to read about it?
And Sam.
No? How come?
I am Sam. Who's this picture of? Sam. And does he?
Okay. So is that
He's getting
good?
ready to do what?
Why not?
Play some
Yeah. Sorry.
baseball.
Because you should give more details.
Okay, here we go. Turn the page and let's read together. Ready?
Yeah,
Turn the
that's
page.
good.
Turn the
So
page, Fidel.
I can start though by if I were to say, Crystal, people like Martin Luther King. Would you ask a question after that?
Okay, repeat after me. E-C.
If I were to say MLK is a really good
I
deed.
see me.
If I were to say we need to have the day off
And
next
Sam.
Monday because of Martin Luther King. Would
I
you guys
am
wonder?
Sam.
Yes, you do. So would you guys wonder
What
why
rhymes?
is this guy such a good
Fish
person?
rhyme with house,
Why
tree, or dish.
should we like this guy? Why should we have off
Does
just for
mouse
this
rhyme
one
with
man?
house or
So we
tree?
look at our crown again.
Because he
Mouse
What's the second thing?
Answer.
Answer. So we got an introduction. He's a great guy. We like Martin Luther King. And then someone's going to ask why, and then we have an answer. So that's our second piece to it. So our answer could be Dr. King helped people learn how to be proud of who they are. So that's why people like him.
Here we go.
Okay, so we are out of time, unfortunately. So we're going to pick this up tomorrow. We're going to work on some more introductions tomorrow. Yeah, you do. Sorry, my phone is being used for other things other than Dojo. But we'll definitely make sure I add this to it. So thank you for asking. And then at the end of the week, you will be rewarded. Okay, you want to cut? You got the thing? Cut. Thank you.